Okay, so first of all, I want to apologize for the state of my face because testosterone and running daily does not do wonders for my skin, obviously. But I wanted to make a video and address a few things because I don't update my channel as much as I want to. So I am 12 weeks on T as of today, and I haven't noticed a whole lot of changes from my last shot. But I did have a really weird dream last night about taking my shot. It was kind of strange. Like, the needles kept breaking on me, and this one really weird part where I just woke up and I looked at my chest in the mirror and I was like covered in hair, which was really weird. I usually do have strange videos, excuse me, strange dreams regardless, but this one is kind of odd. I mean, I woke up and I looked, I got, ready to take my shot, and I just looked and my whole chest was just covered in hair. I don't have a whole lot of hair on my chest right now, but like my hair in my stomach is getting a little darker. Not anything that could be considered like a happy trail or anything, but it's just kind of strange. And then when I took my shot this morning, it hurt a little bit more than usual afterwards. But it wasn't in the injection site. It was like right adjacent to the injection site, right? It was kind of weird, and it burned. I've never had that happen before. So yeah, it was just it didn't last a very long time, but it was just kind of strange. I don't have a very good technique for shooting myself in the ass, so I think that would help. I don't know. I didn't get shown how to do them in the doctor's office. I just had to do it. Had to learn how to do it myself because one of the injection days, one of my shot T days, excuse me, was on New Year's Eve, and I knew I wouldn't be able to get out of the house in order to go do that, so I figured I'd had to learn on my own, and I did it the first time. Like I said in my last videos, I didn't have any problems with it. Anyways, I found a new gynecologist because I had an IUD that had to be taken out, and my other gynecologist that I went to, I had been going to him for about 12 years, I think. And I saw him maybe middle of last year, I think, just for a checkup, and he kind of asked me, or what did he say? He was like, "Oh, well, you cut your hair." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I cut my hair." He goes, "Oh, my wife did that too when she became a mom and all this," and I was like, "Whatever, that's not why I did it." And I told him that I was going to counseling because I'm trans, and he kind of looked at me funny, and he shut his computer, and he sits back in his chair, and he's like, "Explain what transgender means." And I was like, "Great, being a doctor, you should be a little up to date on all this stuff." But anyways, I proceeded to tell him, the short little version of what, being trans is. And then he started going on about, well, what I don't understand is, if God made you a woman, he gave you breasts and a vagina and all this other stuff. I honestly don't even remember the rest of what he said because I kind of just blocked him out. So it's like, whatever. And then he started telling me about his uncle who happened to be gay, which I think it's funny because every time I tell someone, new that I'm or come out to someone as trans, they start to tell me about their gay uncle or, you know, wife who used to be gay or whatever. It's like, it's not the same thing. There's gender and there's sexuality. They're two different things. A lot of people don't understand that. But anyways, get back on track. I had to get my IUD out, and I knew I didn't want to go back to him, so I ended up finding a new doctor, and he recommended me to someone else, and it was kind of nice because I went and saw the nurse, and the nurse, she, you know, she looked over my prescriptions and everything, and, you know, it says testosterone on there. And I told her, I said, okay, well, I am transgender, and, you know, I don't know if you know what that means. And she said, yes, I know what that means. I'm actually reading a book. And she named off the book, and I can't remember the name of the book. And she's like, well, I was really excited and, you know, glad that someone, you know, I'd have to educate this person on my condition, or whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, she wasn't shocked or anything. And so she had to do a pap smear because the last one was like 2 years ago. So, it ended up coming back as abnormal. And, so I had an abnormal pap like 12 years ago when I first started going to the other doctor that I had. And it ended up being precancerous cells. So I had a procedure to remove that. And this pap came back, you know, abnormal. So I have an appointment on the 3rd to get a, what is it called, a colposcopy done, and to see once what's going on, if it is, you know, precancerous or if it is cancer. But the appointment that I had originally on the 3rd was to talk to the doctor about getting a hysterectomy. So instead of canceling and, you know, changing my appointments around, the appointment on the 3rd will be for a colposcopy, and then when they get the results back, which is usually about a week after, I should hopefully get a diagnosis, and then go from there and see if insurance can actually cover a hysterectomy for me, which would be like a huge thing for me. And I haven't told anybody about the abnormal pap because last time my mom like freaked out, and, you know, honestly, if I'm afraid that if I do tell my partner and say, you know, if it is cancer, I'm kind of worried that he would want me to get it treated, and, you know, for this, I don't want any more kids, and he doesn't want any more kids, and we're not in the situation right now where we want kids. So I would hope that he would understand where, you know, I'm coming from and why, you know, I need this. But yeah, so I'll try to update on that on another video. And I want to apologize for my stuttering and my throat. I feel like something's caught in my throat. It makes me clear my throat all the time. But and someone had commented on one of my other videos about having kids and transitioning. My kids are 6 and 10. I have 2 little girls. And I told my oldest a little bit about what's going on. I showed her videos of other people transitioning, and she didn't quite understand it, but I kind of went along the lines of telling her how I had to deal with self-harm, and I still deal with self-harm, and how I just don't like myself, and how I'm not very comfortable with myself sometimes. And she kind of gets it, but kind of doesn't. I mean, there were times when my partner would ask her, well, what do you think about what mommy's doing? And I guess she would cry, and she didn't really cry to me at all, but this was like when I first started telling her about all this stuff. And I did, you know, make a point to sit down and tell her that, you know, nothing's going to change between us. I'm still going to love her. And she knows that I love her. I tell her I love her all the time. Both my kids. I tell them I love them all the time and how amazing they are. And it's not like they're unloved or they're neglected because of this. But a lot of people in my family, they like, okay, for example, my grandma. I love my grandma dearly, but sometimes she doesn't think before she speaks. And she's from an older generation, so she doesn't quite understand this. But she talked to me one time, and she's like, "Well, maybe it would just be easier if you moved to another city and you never saw your kids again." And I was just like, "Why would you even say that to somebody, that they shouldn't see their kids anymore? Especially if I'm not neglecting them." I think, if anything, this would make me a better parent. And the few trans parents that I have talked to, they have the same view, that they feel that they are better parents because of this, because they are being true to who they are. And I feel the same way. I mean, how can I teach my kids about self-love if I can't even love myself? It just makes sense to me. But my 6-year-old, I haven't said a single thing to her yet. To be honest, I haven't had a whole lot of physical changes besides my voice, which hasn't lowered that much. They know that I'm not that I've never been the most feminine person. I mean, yeah, I like makeup and stuff. And before I actually came out, I was actually very, very feminine, very girly. I wore makeup like every single day. But they know that I'm not the most feminine person in the world. So, I mean, I guess, excuse me, when it comes down to it, I will deal with it a little bit more thoroughly. But as of right now, my kids haven't questioned anything. They still call me mommy in public, which, I mean, I know there's a point where I'm going to have to address that, but as of right now, excuse me, as of right now, it's not an issue. But I haven't come across a whole lot of other trans parents. I do go to a support group, and there are 2 other trans parents in there, but they're trans women, so it's a little different. But we all have the same viewpoint of, we're doing this for our kids, so we can be better parents to them, to show them that it's okay to be who you are and to love yourself. Which I've always tried to instill that into my kids, that they are smart, they are loved, that I'm so happy to be their parent, just so happy. And I mean, they're good kids and they're well adjusted, and if anyone would meet them, they would see that, and there's absolutely nothing missing in their life right now. And when they start going through puberty and all that stuff, I'm still gonna be able to tell them, what they're supposed to do. I'll tell them about all that, feminine stuff. And I mean, I'm not, just because I'm transitioning doesn't mean I'm gonna ignore all that. I don't know. Alright, I've been rambling for like 14 minutes, so I hope this video was good, and talk to you later.